Yeah, we have Fantyx versus Hippie, game number 2, everyone. And we have Fantyx once more on the left here, bringing around his classic division, the division that he started Steel Division with, WARNO with, that he still likes the most. 5th plane day on death row, whilst Hippie is bringing around 39th this time. Let's see if he can wield it as successful as Fantyx did it last game, or if Fantyx 5th plane day can get Fantyx into the finals on death row. I would say this is the map for Fantyx to do it on. This is the battlefield that Hippie likes the least, I think. So let's see if he can do it with his AMX 10s. Going relatively aggressive in the middle. Whilst Hippie is going an all-out attack onto Echo.
Fantyx is also going quite aggressive into the middle of the center point, trying to take like the standard red side town in the middle.
Yeah, which could work out. There's a couple of motorwatch Redgas and yeah, going there, but not directly into that town. They go into the bush next to it. So that could allow him to maybe take Alpha, but if he loses Echo too hard, that might not matter. So let's see how the fight over Echo will go. But before we jump in, once more, a quick shout out to the Metrino page, guys. We still have a couple of codes remaining here, which you can use up here on the top right to increase the prize pool of the tournament. Fedder coming in with another 20 bucks though, helping out big time. But still, guys, we have a couple more free codes remaining, and we can get really close to the 400 bucks with it, at which point this prize pool split would go down to the 3rd and 4th place as well. So check out the Metrino page in the chat. Takes you only a couple of seconds before the game starts and before we get this whole on here. Big shout out to Fedder, now coming in with a total of 70 bucks here for the tournament, and let's freaking go. Charlie and Echo in the south, being the zones that Hippie really wants to go for. What is the setup? He has a Mi-24V AA, two of those. He has a lot of superior RPOs, and he has a mortar. I guess that is there for the smoke. I would expect this to drop a decent smoke and then move the infantry through it. But on the other side, we only have a couple of infantry units and a P4 Milan, which most likely won't do much in that regard. So let's freaking go. Let's freaking go. Over here, AMX 10RC and AMX 10RC subleaned in the center. If they can snipe Hippie's complete deployment in the center, that could be really powerful. But I don't think they're quite fast enough to do that. Like if they can kill the motorwatch Vedka before it can deploy there, that would be big. I don't think any side has points left for planes, or am I wrong in that regard? Do we see an Su-25 here from Hippie? He might still be able to fit that one in.
He still has points red. I'm questioning the no CV start though from both sides. I think that's really risky.
Yeah. Yeah, if one side would have a CV here and gets up to +7, that obviously could put you back a lot. But it also seems like Fantyx might have points left for one air superiority fighter. They come pretty cheap. I think only 155 points for the cheaper one of the two. So let's see how the air war goes as the battle is on now. Both sides are unleashed, and Echo is going to be the important point here at the beginning. 3 AMX 10s already out. One might be able to get a couple of shots onto some transports, potentially in the south. But Su-24 Napalm it is. Okay. Okay. That is an interesting choice. That's a rather expensive plane, and the Mirage 3E, yeah, I expected that to be there. Is on the hunt. Can it catch the Su-24? No, it won't continue chasing. Ah. Now it turns around. Only has one long-range missile, but yeah, the Su-24 gets out. Might have the potential of maybe sniping some helicopters here, though. With the 2 DIFA and the Magic missiles, it still has enough killing power to maybe kill one of those. That's the AMX 10RC has to be really careful. It doesn't want to be found by these Mi-24Vs with its light armor. The rockets will kill it. And oh no! Fantyx drives straight through the napalm. Gets out alive with the VAB. That was quite ballsy. The Mirage 2000 and the Mirage E on the hunt for the helicopter. One goes down, but the infantry still flowing in here. Mirage 200 it is. Still tries to get onto the other Mi-24. Igla's not hitting.
Hello there.
And no other AA around. Mirage 3E coming in once more though. Oh! And that should be it for the second helicopter of Hippie. This is not looking good for a British player here. That opener is not going like he wanted it to go at all. The VAB outranging all of his infantry there. As long as it stays out of the range of the Otleni Podovitsky, that could deal heavy damage. Okay, the Otleni Podovitsky get in range, so the VAB will go down. But losing both Mi-24s for that, I don't know if this is worthwhile.
Yeah, that's quite an expensive loss there. And although Hippie's going to be able to push the ground advantage here, those are some really important units to lose so early on. They didn't have any actual impact, really, so it's a bit of a shame for Hippie there.
Yeah, Superior PO moving forward. Superflam standing in the rear. CV coming in on the side of our player in blue, but... Oh, Su-25 AT coming in. And that might be quite deadly. MX-13 coming around once more. And... yeah, how do you see the chances here now, Leifens?
I think Fantyx is at a great position, to be honest. If he secures middle now, it's so difficult to get back into that point, and then you can just cut off Hippie's push. It's quite vulnerable.
Yeah.
And the first CV is coming in now as well for Fantyx.
He at least got one of the AMX 10s on the road down in the south though. But the Mirage 200, oh, if that gets the Su-25, Hippie is in big trouble, and it gets it down to 1 hit point. Can the Su-25 get out of here?
I'm also questioning the no AA part from Hippie when you're playing against the French. You see a Buryusa now, but that's not enough. Should really have some OSAs out on the field to start thinning down those Mirages. Whilst they're just going to be ground strafing all day and killing helicopters.
Su-25 does survive. Mi-24V gets stunned down. BTR 60 coming in the rear. Will try to capture the 2 zones in the south. Yes, Fantyx will get the middle. And yeah, no AA is weird.
One thing I can see going for Hippie is that Fantyx gets tilted by this move. If Hippie is able to somewhat hold on to middle.
Yeah, but only a Motor Radvitka left. There are AMX 10RC already pushing deep. He got the next helicopter there of Hippie killed already. And that's a lot of dead helicopters. Yeah, a single Buryusa most likely not going to be enough. And oh, Fantyx with a VAB T20 on the reinforcement road of Hippie in the center. It's not quite in position, so it won't get that BTR immediately. That would have been really bloody. But it still has the potential of dealing heavy damage there. And that BTR CV is protected by nothing at all. So the VAB and the AMX-10 still could hunt it down. Well, Hippie's units are basically all in the south right now, and they can't really do much there. I question that AMX-30 moving forward onto the town on its own, though. With Otleni Podovitsky all around. That's quite ballsy. But, yeah, Hippie needs to be careful. VAB-20 now hunting down the BTR. Trying to get on the rear of this, whilst the AMX-10 RC could have a potential shot there as well. BTR actually might make it into the middle for a while, though. The Motorwatch
The BTR is in danger of getting sniped by the P4 Milan.
Oh yeah, the other one is getting through, though. P4 Milan not quite getting on top of it. So both CVs currently surviving for Hippie, but both of them in really big danger. Like the protection, only a Motorwatch Vetka there. That's not good enough. Su-25, nearly getting the Mirage. That might go down to the Piusa. Yeah, the Piusa should be able to finish that off. Only 2 hit points remaining. And the Piusa actually not doing it, though. Wow. I guess the Mirage was just a bit too high there. Motorwatch Vetka down to 1 hit point. Su-25, though, coming in for the AMX-10. Gets 1 kill. The Motorwatch Vetka really clutched there with the recon. Next Mirage coming in for the Su-25. Still no other AA for Hippie. These Su-25s living a dangerous life. No AA, no Su-27. Ah, there we go. If you speak of the devil. The Su-27 is finally out. And the Mirage might have a rough time here now. Okay, first Mirage down. Hippie on a +4 currently. And still in a good hold on Echo.
I think the trade so far is quite even, but Fantyx is in a way better position with his troops.
Yes, the infantry position of Hippie here in the south. Yeah, it's annoying, but if you capture the whole center, you can ignore it for a while. And then come back with some artillery, with some bombers or so forth later. But,
Oh, the CV is about to be sniped by the VAB on the top.
oh, Motorwatch Vedka though, might be able to save it for a while. No, the VABs get the kill there. Motorwatch Vedka still gets one of them killed, but yeah, another VAB-20 also makes it into the rear. TADBV might not be the opponent that wants to fight though.
We got the VAB versus TATPV head-on-head duel coming down the reinforcement road.
Yeah, it gets to the flank. If it can get some rear shots in, it might actually have a chance of crippling the TADBV.
Hippie has spotted that because he did ping it at one point, so I'm assuming he knows it's there somewhere.
No, I think he has focused on other things in the past couple of minutes, and yeah, now the full center is captured by Fantyx. Fantyx also getting a point in the south. SU-24 coming in with napalm in the center. Not hitting much though, but the SU-25 rockets getting some good kills. Milan and an AMX-10. RC down. Ooh, and it might get the AMX-30 as well. Yes, it does. Oh, that is painful. Roland 3's only coming in now. So, some good successes there with the SU-25. Mirage 200 on its tail again. But you kind of want to bring double teams at this stage for Fantyx. He gets the kill this time. But with SU-27s and so on around, I would recommend getting double teams or even triple teams of fighters out at a single time. But the revenge on the SU-25 really important. If you can kill them all off, then Hippie's Air Force is toothless. Whilst Mi-8 MTA is moving forward. Not sure what the Roland... How does the Roland not have line of sight on that?
Fantyx is currently deploying Atlas teams in Hippie's reinforcement road.
Oh, yeah, really abusing that Hippie got left the north completely undefended for such a long time. Mi-8 MTA also goes down. Roland 2 fouls to the TADBV, but that TADBV...
Oh, will that be a TATPV snipe?
Oh, LRAC getting a really good hit in the rear. Yeah, moving a TADBV on its own into the front line like this, obviously a super dangerous move. It had the Mi-8 MTA for spotting for it.
BMP goes down as well.
But yeah, the Apilas Voltigeers in the rear already getting the first kill. Hippie reacting quickly, unloading now, but that slows down his next 3 infantry units that want to go down through the center a long time. VAB 20mm also now fanning out. That's good. Separating these 2 units. Both of these can kill transports, so even more hunting to do for Hippie. Who for now still is on the +1, but the center is just looking so good for Fantyx here. VAB 20 going around. And yeah. Only stand up here. Mirage gets the kill onto another plane. SU-27 out, will get the revenge kill, but
I think that's a worthwhile trade.
yeah, that's still fine for Fantyx here. Especially against Hippie, who usually wants to play as much as possible with his air. VAB-20 nearly getting the BMP-2 with Motorstralky still inside in the north. Smokes off before the BMP-2s can kill it. It's still alive though, and I think Hippie doesn't realize that. Meanwhile, the Apilas reveal themselves here.
I think he realizes, but I just don't understand why he doesn't just unload his Motorstralkys.
Yeah, exactly. Is he gonna lose his BMP there now? No, the other one is... Oh, wow!
Oh,
Okay, he at least gets the kill in the end, but loses 2 BMPs and a Motorstralky team there. Yeah, that was a big mistake there. SU-20 4 at least gets out, but oh no, that's losses Hippie really can't afford at this point. Like, every single infantry squadron here is so important.
From playing a lot with Hippie, he seems really tilted at the moment. Like he's frustrated about what to do.
Yeah, Motorstralky BMP coming in the rear. Hippie on a +1. Grenadier Voltigeers on the fire. Meanwhile in the south, Mi MTA still trying to hold herself. Hippie still on the +1 for now, but this is not a good position.
Even if Fantyx just selects units around Echo and just Q moves them forward, I think that will be a successful assault.
Yeah, Hippie just threw away too many units onto the front line.
I don't understand what his game plan was, because he's playing 39 as it is 11th E. And I don't understand why.
SU-25 here at least gets one kill. Does it get another one? Oh, that might tilt Fantyx. Losing 2 of these units against the SU-25 like this. The SU-25 paying off for itself at least. But Hippie needs to slow down here. If he keeps that pace of just throwing stuff onto the front line, Fantyx still should be able to turn this around in the end. His deck is the deeper one now. Like, he has a lot of AMX 30B2s, he has a lot of decent infantry, he has a lot of fighters. So losing SU-25s is not... you can't replace them. And
I think also Hippie needs to deploy more cheap units just to get guys on the ground again. He's going with 2 expensive units, which is vulnerable to getting overwhelmed.
yeah, I mean, moving TADBVs forward when your only other unit around is a recon helicopter that can get sniped by any Mirage, for example, is just not a good move at this stage. His southern units hold out relatively well, but he, for example, could have brought in a supply truck there to maybe replenish his units there a bit better.
I'm also starting to believe that Fantyx maybe doesn't have any bombers in his build, because he has been fired upon by AA once this whole game, and he hasn't bombed Hippie yet.
Yeah, but if he gets line of sight onto the enemy here, he still could use them just for strafing.
Yeah, that's
like
true.
the Mirages with the 230mm should do the cleanup job even without bombs. So yes, a Perflam also a good option.
I'm just looking at that 4 stack of infantry and thinking that's a juicy bomb target.
Yeah, Mirage 3 coming around, but yeah, it would be really, really good if he would have a bomber here, a Jaguar bomber.
Oh no,
Would do a great job.
Hippie is playing very aggressive with his SU-27.
SU-25 coming in. That will get the Krupiantichar here most likely killed, yeah. But the Roland 3s, oh, getting the kill. Another SU-25 bites the dust, and that's the most important unit in the playstyle of Hippie. So, and I think he's down to 1 or 2 SU-25s at this point. Like, he hammered away so many of them.
I think
Definitely
Hippie
feels like Hippie has been a little bit more careless in this game from what I've seen in previous games we've been playing.
I think he's out of this game mentally already.
Yeah, BMP3 coming in. Gets... is that the SU-27 that just got shut down in the rear?
Yeah.
Yeah, so SU-27 going down as well. This... Hippie is still on the +1, but it's looking grim in any other aspect of the game right now.
I would like to see Hippie now pull out of Echo, take like the point we have so far, and try to reorganize and attack into the lower part of the middle zone where his TATPV is close. He has Separese RPOs, he has recon, etc. Just cut his losses down there and get out.
Yeah. But he tried to support it so long. The Roland 3 is really good positioning of those for Fantyx in the middle. AMX 30s with the 20mm next to their main gun now showing up Hippie's infantry, and the Hippie only has hodgepodge units all around the map. SU-24 now flying towards the 2 Roland 3s that will go wrong eventually. Yeah, this time it is the time where they get the shutdown. Might get the Grenadiers, but that's just not worthwhile.
I think Hippie is closing up to 1,500 to 2,000 points lost in the air at this point.
Yeah, and that's less than half of the game in, so
yeah,
his air tab is nearly depleted. He's now rushing in BMP3s, but what is the plan there? Like, just keep moving them forward is really weird move. He doesn't have any combined arms whatsoever. Fantyx playing that combined arms gameplay is so much better, having recon at the right spots and having something.
I'm also questioning if you select the BMP3s and show their order, they're having an unload order straight into that enemy's position.
Yeah, Grenadier, Voltageers in the south versus Motostralky doing pretty well. P4 coming finally in though for Fantyx there, and that will give Fantyx the +3 once that captures the rear zone. So Hippie's point advantage is not for long, so Hippie needs to find a way. I mean, the BMP3s can be amazing, but he needs support for them. As part of the combined arms, BMP3s are some of the best tools in the game.
I'd like to see some T-62s coming out from Hippie's side to get more targets that Fantyx has to fire upon.
Yeah. Like, getting a wall of T-62s in front of your one T-80BV is usually the best way of protecting your T-80BV, whilst keeping enough firepower around. But we don't
this is a
see any
tragedy.
sheep units here
This
whatsoever.
is a tragedy of the
Hippie is
maximum
also
scale.
moving back into Echo again, which is quite risky.
AMX
Yeah, it's a
still-
lot of presence there from Fantyx, and Hippie has more reinforcements coming up, but I don't think it's going to be enough to break back into Echo.
Okay, that's some good BMP trades in the middle.
Yeah. He's starting to push on it. MX-10 or Zeppelin have to push back. If he can contest the middle right now, he still has the point advantage. Does he have a CV on the battlefield? He's saved the one in the south. He pulled out of there in time.
But that currently has a move order back into Echo.
Oh boy, he's so ballsy. He's too ballsy. That's a class. Like, yeah. He expects Fantyx to move his CV out there, and then he might get it. But what's the gain there? Like, even if he can get it for a couple of minutes, it's still not that many points. And risking to lose it here might leave you in the same situation that we had in game number 1, where you just don't have any CVs left. Meanwhile, in the middle, his BMP3s are left unmicroed, but they get a good hit against the Brennis twice in a row. Milan, can it get the kill? Yes, but the Brennis has to get the hell out of there.
Also, if you look at Hippie's northern BMP3s, they're having an order to charge straight into the backline of Fantyx, which I actually think will succeed.
Yeah, there's little there. The Brennis is the only unit there that can stop them.
I guess Hot 2 also can be provide a challenge.
Oh yeah, the Hot 2 is a great investment at this stage, as Hippie does not have the fighters and has lost quite a lot of his AA. And the BMP3 is struggling to get on target. Mirage 3, E coming in for the Mi-8 MTA, not quite finding the kill. Brennis in a really dangerous position here though. Finally smokes off. BMP3 smoke off on the other side. But the Mirage, they can strafe down any infantry unit at the battlefield at the moment. If Fantyx realizes that there's actually not that much risk from any enemy airplanes anymore, he can just strafe them down.
Yeah, there should be no risk from enemy airplanes at the moment. I think Hippie has lost both his Su-27s.
Yes, and all his Su-25s. So, yeah, the Mirage 3s can just come around to strafe any infantry that he has line of sight on for long enough, and make it basically impossible to win any infantry fights for Hippie, which usually is necessary to win the game. So, yeah,
He also lost his T-80BV down at the Echo push, so he has no fire support for his attempt at holding the zone down there.
He is going with the Wargamer Dragon tactic of smoking your CV, of getting it into the south, but it's still a +1 for his opponent, as his T-62 MK is slowly coming up. He gets one Mirage 3E that was really far behind his lines, shut down with his incoming Osa and Piusa. At least one plane off.
Better late than never.
Yeah, at least one plane off his opponent shut down, and making strafing runs in the future a bit harder. But Fantyx still closing in the points and should still have the advantage in the center. Hippie though, starting to look a bit better again. Like, being back in the center zone is, position-wise, quite good.
He needs to start bringing up some supplies. His units keep being at low HP and getting pushed forward again.
Yeah, and he loses the southern CV now. Grenadier Voltage is coming around to finish that off with the LRAC. So, Fantyx now catching up really quickly. But Hippie still might have a slight advantage at the point where his T-62 arrives in the frontal zone. Will take 30-40 seconds there, or 20 seconds I guess, rather, at this point to get there. So Fantyx still will be really close at this point. But Hippie's points will still be a bit more. Though I don't know if Hippie is capable of managing an point advantage. Like, usually he still is going to play aggressively. So, not sure if he can just manage a 50-60 point advantage and try to win with that. most of the time not his playstyle. But yeah, it's 80 points. Oh! Wait, what happened to the CV of Fantyx in the middle? I completely missed that. When did that die?
It got moved down to Echo to recapture.
Ah, that was the one. Okay, I thought that was a
Yeah.
new one. Okay, but the P4 will move in the center, so Hippie at least getting it up slightly above 100 points with that. That's quite helpful. As we, at the same time, have some Grenadier Voltageers coming in the rear. We have BMP3s killing off the VAB-20. Grenadier Voltageers on the fire as well. And
Oh, that's a risky placement of the TATB V. I would like to see it pull back into the forest line again. When you're playing defensively, there's no point at having your unit stuck all the way out of the tree line. It's better to have it a bit further in, and then you can pull it out when you need it.
yeah. Yeah, that absolutely is the case. But obviously, yeah, even if Hippie could play defensively now, I don't think he will. That's the thing. Like,
I totally agree.
he is still posturing in the north for a push there right now. And that might be devastating. If he moves his BMP3s forward right now, there's just way too much there. There's the helicopters, there's AMX-10s, there's a Milan 2. He needs to be a bit more chill mode right now. Like, somehow Fantyx was able to squander a couple of his big advantages here as well lately. So Hippie is back in this game. But he
If
still has to make it
Fantyx
work.
lose this game, I think a lot of it comes down to him not securing center before trying to push out Echo.
Yeah. And also maybe tilting a bit too much over air losses.
Yeah.
So his anti-air did work pretty well. And now being a bit too insecure about the air still, I guess. And not quite getting for the Mirage 3 strafing runs, which could have added up a lot of damage by now. Conqueror's getting a VAB-20 in the south. AMX 30 in north against TADBV. That's a close fight. AMX 30 now smoking off, getting the hell out of there. As we have quite a couple of Gazelle hots. So yeah, Hippie's potential of pushing into this could be really low. BMP3 goes down to a Milan.
It also seems like Hippie has untilted a bit. He's actually bringing in a variety of units now, instead of just clicking one button and sending it forward.
Yeah. Yeah, he is back in the mindset of trying to win this game now, but the question is, it's still the Hippie mindset, so he's still losing quite a lot.
I know a lot of times when I play Hippie on death row, his strat is to just sit back against me. So I know he is capable of doing it.
He hits really well with the artillery there. That artillery barrage was well placed on those tanks and those supply trucks. And yeah,
Biggest issue with artillery in the game currently is that one is just for disruption. If you want to kill something, you need to pair it up with another artillery.
Yeah, TADBV coming in now in the south as well, and the TADBV is really good at stopping any offensive actions of the AMX 30 B2s. Like, the B2, really good defensive tanks, and if you can, if the enemy doesn't have the high quality tanks, you can also use them to just roll forward an A-click. But TADBVs are just a bit too strong. So as long as Hippie has TADBVs, he doesn't have endless resources of them. Especially as he brings them on relatively high veterancy, like they all come on 3-star veterancy in here. He still should be able to hold on with those.
I'd like to see some artillery out of Fantyx. Hippie is quite clumped up in his corner in the forest, which is a great artillery target.
Yeah, and the 5th Bunde howitzers, the self-propelled howitzers, they are pretty strong beasts as well. The Elf one.
I got a question from chat if you could make the pix and ban text smaller or remove
yeah,
it.
shit. Yeah. Grenadier Voltageers moving around here. Group Anti-Char moving in.
Oh.
Meanwhile,
Is this the renewed offensive in the south for Hippie?
I mean, he doesn't have that many units there yet. But he might try it in the center right now. He moves Grandia Otlini Podorichki there. Motostralki BMP is being pushed back. VAB holding the line as well. Rupi Antichar coming in. MX-10 RC versus the Motostralki BMP in the north. User coming around. Grenadier Voltigeurs coming in the rear as well. Rupa Antichar coming in. And yeah, this is looking problematic for Hippie now, being pushed in here by the good infantry with good AT. Does he have enough
And the
Motostralkis to hold it?
AMX.
He finally has a supply truck, which will be helpful, but he can't engage the infantry with his armored vehicles, and he only has 2 Motostralkis here, one of which is really heavily damaged. He needs to repair that ASAP.
They're back to full HP now, but I'm more worried about the damage the AMX Serbline is gonna do.
Oh yeah, getting another nice shot on the pre-user there. Starting to really wreck in the kills. Now going for the Iglas, which might then allow the Mirages to strafe the enemy here to death. VAB T20 coming in as well. Not sure if I'm a big fan of that. Not sure if we just one-shot that. Yeah. AMX-10 also under fire by the TADBV now. Good maneuver there by Hippie. AMX-10 has to get the hell out of there.
It looks like Fantyx is ready for a charge on the southern port of the midsection with 3 AMXs plus infantry setup.
Yeah, getting also more infantry now in the north, but they come in all a bit piecemeal, so the Motostralkis with the Ural in the rear can hold the line. But I'm surprised we don't see a Mirage just killing off the Mi-8 MTA in the north. Like, that gives so much intel to Hippie. And
I actually think it's because he doesn't have any planes, so you have to buy one.
pretty sure he should have at least one Mirage 3E left. I think he has a Mirage 3E and a Mirage 200 left in his arsenal. Meanwhile, artillery landing here in the middle. The MX Prentice coming in a bit piecemeal here as well. First one gets a great hit against the TADBV though. TADBV not smoking off. That might be the end of it. Yes, there we go. That's the important kill. Another TADBV coming around, but there's a Milan 2 now as well. So yeah, TADBV needs to smoke off there. And getting another one of those 3 veteran C TADBVs is a great kill.
Hippie is currently trying to drive his TATBV up to the Serb line to kill it. In the forest.
Oh yeah. I mean, that should potentially work out.
It should win, because the Serb line is stressed out. But it is a risky maneuver due to the vision.
Yeah, but he has vision on it with his Mi-8 MTA. He doesn't have vision anymore. Oh, that might change things. But the TADBV gets first shot, gets killed.
Yeah.
Mirage 3E gets shot. There is an SU-27S still remaining, okay.
Okay.
So, one of those still in. Mirage 200 shouldn't be able to get the kill there, no. Okay, so the air fight is more contested than I thought. Those are still around.
Oh, will Hippie remember the smoke?
Oh, Roland 3 under fire. Gets the kill. On the other side though, the ADBV gets killed off as well. Oh, 2 really important units there falling. And but the Roland 3 a bit more... a bit less worthwhile anymore because there's not that much air anymore. Meanwhile, the TADBV obviously super important against the MX-30 B2s here that are now rolling forward. One more TADBVK coming in, but that's a command tank, isn't it? Yeah. So a TADBVK coming in, the last couple of TADBs remaining in Hippie's deck most likely. Yes, he brought them in with 2-star veterancy, so he doesn't have that many. And Fantyx only has 9 minutes now to get the 120 point gap bridge, but that's 1 minute off him ticking in the middle. Like exactly 1 minute off tick in the middle. If he ticks 1 minute and 1 second, he has the advantage over Hippie. So he just needs to clear out that T62 some way, somehow. And he will do that with just numbers. If you look at the reinforcement road of Fantyx right now,
yeah,
it's 8 AMX-30s, which will then just come in with an A-click. And as long as he gets them recon, I think that should be doing the job. AMX-30s.
I think Fantyx has forgot about his two apprentices just sitting in the backline with the Golden Trees and Supply Party. You see, A-Clicks now goes together with Amix 30 piece, this is over.
But Hippie got another CV in the center. So even if the forest gets cleaned out, Fantyx will still have to do more. 8 minutes, 25 seconds remaining. And we have a ATGM plane. We don't have a bomber plane, but we have an ATGM plane. Jaguar ATGM coming around, getting one of the few remaining T-ADBVs in the north. That might be the last normal T-ADBV. No, one more in the south, but the last remaining one in the center area. SU-27 should be able to get the retaliation kill.
It doesn't matter.
Not.
It will be out of the game with how damage it is and how little time it is left.
Yeah, it maybe can come back in the last minute of the game, but it should be out of most of it now. And yeah, here we go. This is what Fantyx wants to do it with. The MX-30B spam is on. Let's see what they can do. His Brennus is mostly still alive, but heavily hurt. Does he have a supply truck coming? I don't think he has. He has a bit of supply left on the ones he has still on the front line. So they could try to get these at least a bit better up in strength. And then he will charge in there. Is AMX Alpha 1 in the rear not firing at all? Which is a bit of a surprise. 7 minutes remaining here for Fantyx. Another Jaguar ATGM coming in. I'm not quite sure what the target of that one is. Is it the AMX, the T-ADBE in the south? No. What is it targeting? Nothing. Yosa gets a good hit. Doesn't quite get the kill. One more shot. Oh! Yeah, that Jaguar was weird. And he really A-clicks into some Motospelkies there.
Yeah, but it's just numbers alone.
Gets
the
the
auto
ground.
cannon is gonna shred everything there is meat.
I mean, he loses 3 there? 2 already. He still has good numbers, but his AMX Brenners are not helping out right now. They are going back to the repairs, so... there's no Motostrelkis over here at the part where the 2 CVs are. The Motostrelk is all a bit too far forward. Yeah, Hippie pulls him back now, that's the right choice. With their support, I would say he has the potential of stopping this. Gets the Osa killed though.
He gets front armor shots and doesn't get side shot. He should be able to kill those AMX-30Bs.
Yeah, but with the number and the angle they come in, they should get a side shot eventually. So, just with armor, he can't beat them. But with the Motospelkies getting a couple of RPGs out, he might be able to.
Oh no, don't let them face it one at a time.
Meanwhile, the other AMX-30s pushing into the south. Motostrelkies there, getting good hits. Conquerors getting some nice hits as well. Fantyx has to be careful not squandering his forces here now. Gets one of the CVs, T62 CVs in the north. But the one in the south should remain safe for now. AMX-30B2. 2 of them down, only 1 remaining. That one has to be careful. Motostrelky get another good hit. Motostrelky's in the north coming in now as well. Get 1 BABL Milan there kill. Saperi RPO still around. T-ADBVK still around. The Milan 2 I think has line of sight, but it doesn't have the damage. But somehow the T-ADBV is stunned. The artillery fire? No. What did stun the T-ADBV there?
No, it's the Saparis.
Okay, it looked like it was the T-ADBVK, yeah. But no, it's the Saperi. Me 8 MTA.
You also need to remember that the autocannon has scaling pen, meaning that if they're standing right beside the TATB, it has like 10 pen as well.
Yeah, if it can hit side armor, it will do good damage there as well. Grandia Voltagius trying to come in from the north now. Getting a good hit on the BMP2s, not quite getting the kill. And
Fantyx needs less than 1 minute of a +3 going to win this game. That means that if Hippie can last for 3 more minutes, he should win this game. But he needs to last a bit more than 3 minutes.
No, he needs exactly... Fantyx needs exactly 1 minute.
Yeah, but that's a draw. He needs like 1 minute and 1 second.
Yeah. Yeah, but... No, he needs exactly 1 minute because if he takes the last, he wins.
Okay, sure.
So, yeah, exactly 1 minute. Well, it's the TADBV is coming along.
Oh, that's a side shot, isn't it?
Ooh, in the south, his tank's pushing forward. Oh my god, the artillery of Hippie! So effective! hitting all the supply trucks there, hitting some of the tanks as well. Until
Oh, his
reposition.
TDBV survived. The MX-30 spam.
Oh, CV in the south goes down. TDBV.
Oh, Fantyx is gonna be really cheeky. He's gonna try to drive the P4 into the back zone of Hippie.
Yeah, but the TADPV could get a shot on that. No, it doesn't quite see it. Grandier Voltageers coming in here with the LRAC for the TADPVK. That one in the smoke needs to survive one more minute. P4 doesn't really have a chance. There's two T62Ms there. In the rear, it won't get in. So it is all about this TADPVK. Grenadier Voltageers in the north will get killed off. One TADB, AMX 30B2 and the Grenadier Voltageers versus a Motor Strelky and the TADPVK. Who will do it?
Oh.
Oh. Who is shooting there? Do they see each other? No.
Nope.
Stop seeing each other. Now they see each other again.
Oh, no.
Line of sight here is...
You shoot the Voltageers, they're gonna shoot in the ass. This is gonna be brutal.
Oh, the Grenadier Voltageers hitting hard.
Oh.
That they need a long time to reload.
I think Hippie just smoked.
Oh! There we go.
This is game.
And this is game. This is Fantyx taking it. There's a TADBV in the south coming in for Hippie. Oh, there's no CV in Echo. If he can take Echo, it would be +1 again. Is he moving it to the center or is he going for the south? He's too indecisive now. If he would move it to the center, he could have gotten there within less than a minute, but he's not moving it there either. And he's not moving it at all. And not moving at all is the biggest mistake you can do here right now as Hippie. As the north is getting pushed.
This is GG.
Yeah, now it is officially GG. TADBV is now moving through the south. Smoke coming in for it as well. But even with a +1, it will still take a minute to get there. And at this point, Fantyx should have enough points advantage that a +1 still would mean that he is ahead. Even if Fantyx gets in there. If Hippie gets in there. Fantyx now overtaking Hippie. And starting to build an advantage on a +3. And the tank still on the way. Well, actually it might get close. It might get close. 20 points advantage now.
Fantyx will still sit at the +1 even if he captures Echo.
No, it will be a +1 for Hippie. There's no CV in there for Fantyx.
Oh, it isn't. Yeah, that's true. Oh, is
Oh,
that
it's
the
1
side
minute.
shot?
But it's not enough. It's not enough. +1 is not enough at this point. It's more than 40 points difference.
Yeah.
So it's still a Fantyx victory here.
Such a close game at the end, though. That was on a knife's edge.
Another P4 here of Fantyx trying to find a new way into Hippie's rear zone as well, and might find it this time around. So, yeah, the P4 finding a cheeky way here into Hippie's rear zone will make that all mute anyways. As Hippie will lose his tick there as well. Smoke going around again around the CV, but the P4 will make it into the rear, and it's Fantyx once more on the take. So Fantyx will be our first finalist in here. Really, really freaking cool game. Hippie looked out of it for a long time, then started to bring it back in the north, but Fantyx in the end having the patience, having the skill, something that he sometimes lacks, but this time not at all. And he also doesn't like the timing this time around. So GGVP to Fantyx, his first final here in WARNO. And his good shot on a good prize pool